Welcome to Ragas Rankings. Yes, rankings. The braai topic, the fist fighting topic, the emotional topic, the one for which my colleague here takes a lot of abuse, specifically after the latest rankings after this week in Schoolboy Rugby, where we at this stage have a new #1 school in the country, Grey College.
Yeah, Grey College had a good win against Oakdale, and they scored points. Where Paul Gim,
although they beat Wynberg.
They beat Wynberg, but Wynberg has got 92 points.
Below them.
No, they've got 92 points where Paul Gim had 105. And one of our rules is if you play against a school that's 10 log points below you, you don't earn anything for the win. Why do we do that? It's in order to keep the boys, to force them to play within their certain bracket, point 1, and point 2, Paul Gim and Grey College. At this stage, if you leave them alone and let them score points the whole time, they're going to run away from the opposition.
And no one will be able to catch up with them.
They will basically secure their place at #1 and #2 for the next 2 or 3 years. We had a lot of problems with a school like Office last year that started from a high point, and because there was not a lot of games in there, they finished quite high and not deserving the place there. Yeah.
Oh well, anyway, so at this stage Grey College is slotted into #1. Paul Gim is slotted down into #2 position. And then, yes, Garsfontein, by virtue of beating Office, which was higher than them on the log before yesterday's match, they've moved up 4 positions.
4 positions.
4 positions to the #6 position. And unfortunately for Office, they've now moved down 5 positions to #11 on the log. So that gives you a clear indication of how this works.
Yeah, because remember, you earn points and you lose points. So if you play against this, and that's why there was only 1 point between Office and Garsfontein.
Before the match?
Yeah. On the scoreboard.
Yeah, yes.
On the scoreboard. But because Office was, I think, ranked a lot higher than Garsfontein, they lose a lot of points, even though the losses was only by 1 point.
It's still a loss.
And everybody shouted the rankings does not reflect the current situation, so we did put some turbo in the method of calculating, so we'll see 1 or 2 games, but the top 20 is already settling. So yeah, so that's one of those things.
Rondebosch,
they entered they're the only new entrant in the top 20. You're not old enough, sitting in front of the radio listening to one of what's the top rankings, the top 20, David Gresham.
Springbok Radio,
that's it. So,
I remember well.
So Rondebosch had a good win of 46-24 against Sachs, and that gave them 3 positions, and now they are at #20. So that's basically the whole thing. But Francois, what I want to discuss today now is there's another way at looking at the rankings. I had a long discussion with the guys from Marensky. They really are working their backsides off, but they have a problem. They are playing in a certain band that will not allow them to catch Pietersburg and Ben Forster, simply because Ben Forster and Pietersburg, apparently they're quite close to each other, but because of history and previous performances, Marensky is not competing in the same bracket as those other 2 schools that's competing for the same children. Can we put it like that? So what I've done is now, what we're going to do also every week is we're going to give you the top 5 performers on the rankings. It will not be your top 10, because you'll never find in your top 10 schools bettering themselves by 5 or 6 points. Very rarely you will do. So what's quite interesting, the top performing school from last year till now is Worcester Gym.
Yeah.
Then Augsburg, Die Anker, Landboudal and Marensky. So what you can get from that stats is also these guys are really pushing it. The guy from Morensky is already planning how he can change his fixture list next year. In order, they need to get into a top 100. The parents are giving them a lot of flack and everything. So that's maybe how you must use the rankings
and approach your way of looking at the rankings.
Yeah, it's.
Yes, the first top 10 is important, but remember there's lots of other schools that are important, that are playing rugby, you know, and for their supporters and their children, rightfully so. So it's where you lie and how you can, and the key here is how can I improve my standings?
Yeah.
And if I can look back on my season and say, listen, I climbed 10 ranking points after my season, I can see it was successful.
Then you can judge the performance of the team and the coaches and everything. See how they better themselves. Don't look at the position they have on the log. It's silly. There's no ways that Morensky can play off his 7th side. So there's no ways of comparing them. And then one final interesting thing, if you were a betting man, and you used the Ruggers Awards of last week to make your bets, you would have had an almost 80% passing rate.
Now you tell me.
Yeah. I think we must start a betting system for schoolboy rugby.
Is there a clause? Can I? Then never mind.
So yeah, that's Francois. That's the rankings. Once again, talking point, fighting point. Don't decide on the rankings where you send your kids. That's stupid.
It's just a tool and a way to look at how you can improve your own performance from the school's perspective. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Enjoy.
Great college, congratulations. That mommy from Paul Gim that sent me the message that I'm scared of Great College, that's why Great College is now #1. Ma'am, I really do hope that you don't speak to your child like that, and after this video that you will understand, which I doubt. No, she wouldn't. Great stuff. Enjoy.
Cheers.